Back here with Chris Broussard. We're talking Saturday's play-in game. Grizzlies, Blazers. Blazers got the win, clinching the NBA's final playoff spot. And as a reward, they get the top-seeded Lakers. And as hot as Dame has been in the bubble, he's the first to tell you how much of a challenge LeBron and company will be. Take a listen.
They're the #1 seed in the West for a reason. They got the best player in the world on their team. But at the same time, we didn't fight as hard as we fought in the bubble to just say, all right, we the 8th seed and go out here and just get beat up on. We feel like we have a chance in the series against anybody in this league. We feel like we got a chance in this series, and that's how we gonna approach it.
Well, definitely not your typical 8th seed. They played at an elite level during this stretch in the bubble, at least offensively, and we've got a ton of respect for obviously for Dame and CJ and Nurkic, but really for their whole team and their whole culture. They got a system that's been together for a number of years. They have the continuity piece, conference finals last year. So just a ton of respect for their what they're bringing to the table.
Nick, you got to admit, Blazers are playing very good ball heading into the playoffs. Lakers are not playing very good ball heading into the playoffs. What chances do you give Portland to maybe upset Los Angeles?
None whatsoever. But I will admit this, because the NBA has done some, it's the bubble, it's pandemic, so if they've changed some rules. If the NBA makes the first round, make it, take it, then I think the Lakers would be in trouble. But I don't think that's going to happen. But let me open my mind to the possibility that the Lakers could lose. Here's what would have to happen. Dame has to average 40 for the entire series. A minimum of 40 a night for all 7 games if the Blazers were to be able to win this series. And Gary Trent Jr. and Carmelo Anthony both have to shoot around 40% from threes because they will get open looks. And Danny Green has to stay ice cold, and I'll add one more element. Kuzma's got to short circuit a little bit. And by that, I mean Kuzma, I really liked his approach in the bubble, but he's also a young player who has not yet been paid. This will be his first playoff experience, and if he looks at it as Leroy Jenkins-ish, if you will, older people will get that reference, then and tries to take it on his own, then all of a sudden that would be the perfect storm, Broussard, for the Blazers to be able to upset the Lakers, barring a LeBron injury or something that totally changes the math. But I don't think it is at all likely, but all of those things would have to happen for it to be a possibility, Broussard.
I'm with you, Nick, for the most part, although I do give them a 10%, that's right, 10% chance of upsetting the Lakers. So I think the Lakers take care of Portland in 6. But here's what has to happen for Portland to pull off the upset. It really would boil down to 2 things. Nick mentioned one is shooting. Nick mentioned that Portland would have to remain on fire. I don't think Dame has to necessarily average 40, maybe 39, but not quite 40.
39.
But Gary
always undercut
Gary Trent has to remain on fire. He shot 51% from 3 in the bubble. That has to continue. CJ has to remain on fire, and Dame, of course. And then conversely, the Lakers need to remain ice cold. Nick mentioned Danny Green. As a team, they were dead last in the bubble in three-point shooting, 30% from Trey. That has to continue. Then on the other end, defensively, the Lakers have to remain horrible from on perimeter defense. They were bad overall, 12th in the bubble defensively, but against the 3, they were 18th. So they have to continue to struggle to defend the 3, and then again, conversely, Portland's defense has got to improve. They were one of the few teams that was worse than the Lakers in the bubble, and I know they can't get but so much better on the perimeter defense, but from inside, Jusuf Nurkic and Hassan Whiteside have got to be otherworldly in protecting the rim because LeBron and AD will get there when they want to, so those 2 have got to protect it well.
So while if those 37 things happen, Portland has a chance. Yeah.
No, I like this. You know what? Broussard has always been on the Blazers team. He's trying to play. He's a little bit on the fence. He's like, wow, it's you and me and the Blazers. I'm like, that's right, buddy. And then he's like, Nick, you and me and the Lakers. I've always been a Lakers fan. And it's like, Broussard's killing us. I thought he was on with me. But here's what we heard a lot in those two soliloquies, Jenna. We heard a lot of continues. We heard a lot of remains. Yep. We heard one start. Yep. And the one start is the Trailblazers need to play defense, and they're just not going to. Let's just be honest. I think LeBron's going to get his. LeBron's going to score a ton. Anthony Davis is going to be flashbacks to old Pelicans Anthony Davis when they swept the Blazers. So I think that's fine. But let's look at the other recipe for success that I think we're missing, the most obvious thing that's right in front of us. There's no home court advantage. I know it's super obvious, but LeBron's never lost a first-round matchup for one reason. He can win his home games. Now, you can't rely on that. We don't know how the flow of this series is going to go. Cold, depleted lineup. Yeah, the other obvious thing we're not talking about, there's no Avery Bradley. So this team, that's the number one team for a reason, as we heard Dame say earlier. Like, yeah, they are. But some of those guys aren't there. And instead, you got Dion Waiters and you got J.R. Smith, who, don't get me wrong, I'm a J.R. guy, but he's cold. He's ice cold, shooting 9%. Danny Green shooting 25. Caruso shooting 15. A Wolf in 8 seeds clothing. We know this is not a real 8 seed. First of all, they were a 10 seed. They're really a 4 or 5 seed as constructed now. They went to the Western Conference Finals last year. Unguardable superstar, obviously Dame is killing it. Oh, let's stop Dame like the Pelicans did. Just neutralize Dame. Bad news. Guess who that is? Wearing a headband. Clutch Melo. Broussard, we talked about Clutch. Remember we were talking about playoff Melo? And you're like, I don't know if there's playoff Melo exists. I'm not 100% sure either, but I know that Melo's been the most clutch guy. So if you stop CJ, you stop Dame, boom, kick the ball to Clutch Melo. LeBron's like, oh, it's my buddy Melo. I'll let him get that shot. Boom, game over. So look, maybe it goes 6, maybe it goes 7, but you got 10. Nick's at 0. I will take the over on both of your chances. Am I going to say it's going to happen? I'm not sure, but I'm taking the over, Nick.
What do you mean you're not sure? Oh, hold on.
Right.
So much was wrong with that.
Not sure.
So much was wrong with that.
Future?
Have a take.
What?
You see, you're literally sliding off camera like your take is. It's just non-existent. Yeah, I mean, what the hell are you doing? Like, are they going to do it? I don't know. When am I going to pick the series? After game 3? Who knows? But the other thing that was ridiculous about what you just said, you were like, oh, LeBron's never lost in the first round. You know why? Because he doesn't lose home games. No, it's because he doesn't lose games in the first round. Throw up the graphic, please. LeBron's career record in round 1. And keep in mind that his first ever series in round 1 was 4-2, and the most recent one was 4-3. So in the middle there, he went 44-5. Over 11 years in round 1. Oh, but Nick, it was the East. It was so different than the West right now. I am so, Broussard, everyone keeps saying, oh, Portland is not your traditional 8 seed. I just want to know, if Portland had been healthy all year, how good do folks think they were going to be? Like, I'm just curious. They were going to be 10 games better than they were? 12 games better than they were? Because traditionally, by the way, if we're talking about traditional 8 seeds, the Warriors do exist, and they're a team to contend with. Like, could the Warriors have, or could the Blazers have been the 7 seed where the Mavericks are had they been healthy all year? Sure. But this idea that this